weird. Alright, we'll just use the webcam audio then. Which will probably be terrible. Ah, here we go. Got it working again. Much better. Alright, so on today's flight, we are going from Geauga County Airport in Ohio, making our way towards Niagara Falls. We are using current real-world weather, but move the time back so that we're in the daylight hours. It should be about noon, roughly, in sim. Pop into VR and look around. Ooh, plane's looking a little frosty. Yeah, I may need to increase altitude. This is the kind of weather we're going to be dealing with. Use the mouse to pan around. Oh, what is this area exactly? Mentor on the lake, maybe? Not 100% sure, but ooh, that person has a nice big house, don't they? Unless that's a church or something. Who knows? So we should be arriving at the first waypoint soon. And I've got autopilot flying us. Yeah, it looks like our window's cleared, so just kinda depends on what kind of crap we're currently flying through. Let's make sure autopilot follows the waypoints. Nice! Sure do hope I loaded enough fuel for this. I only went 50% fuel. This flight it's probably going to use all of it. Alright, so let's bring up the EFB and see where we're going. So as you can see, I left Geauga County. And what we're going to do is we're going to run along the coast, the shoreline of Lake Erie, make our way up here around it, take a peek over at Niagara Falls, and then land at Niagara International. Again, hopefully we have enough fuel. If not, I could either cheat or we land early. Let's see how we do. So yeah, let's go into the cockpit and Let's see how much we're burning. Ooh, that is a pretty high burn rate. 15.5 gallons per hour. And we have 20 gallons remaining. Yeah, that's not gonna make us we're not gonna get there like that. So I'm thinking we're gonna want to fly at altitude. So let's go adjust our autopilot. Let's take our altitude up to 10,000 feet. Was gonna do touch and goes, but I did not bring enough fuel. Alright, so destination altitude is 10,000. And let's see, we are going to do, let's climb at 500 feet per minute, which won't take active till I turn it into vertical speed mode. So vertical speed, 500 feet per minute. Because, yeah. Yeah, we're not even getting good RPM down here either. It's not looking good for our fuel situation, actually. Minutes to our next waypoint, which was an airport that I was going to touch and go, but you know what? I think we're going to skip. Exhaust gas temperature, and was that? What is CHT? I really should learn that. Alright, so I should be able to climb at about 700 feet per minute in this plane. That's kind of, which probably bring my speed right down to that Y. I could do a flight level change and set my speed there, because the Y is the greatest rate of ascent. The X is the greatest rate of ascent in the shortest distance, but not shortest time. Y is the greatest rate of ascent in time. Now, we're going to be in this climb for a while, so let's go to an outside view. What, let's rotate the view the other way. This weather definitely looks mucky. Ooh, you're losing speed. Okay, stall, not good. Turning the autopilot off. Let's go inside. See, where are we going wrong? Our plane just does not like this weather. Yeah, so as I said, 700 feet per minute in ideal conditions. Maybe we'll stick with like 400 and autopilot back on. Stall. 200 feet per minute. It's getting us back on course. 300 feet per minute. Let's settle in there. This flight is turning out to be a bit dangerous. The weather sucks. I didn't fill up enough. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. This was not a well-planned flight. I'm just gonna put it that way. Alright, let's tweak our mixture. Probably lean out more. Right about there. Only at 6,000 feet. Alright, we're getting into some cleaner air though, so let's increase our rate to 500 feet per minute. Let's enjoy the sun and the clouds. Yeah, 32% fuel. Not so good. You see, I have it full throttle too. And that's all the RPM I'm getting. Man, that's not so good. Airspeed is kind of holding at 79, so I don't think I'm going to increase my climb rate at all. 500 is probably safe. Take this off for a second. My phone. Alright, let's head back in and see if it's time to adjust our fuel mix. So I don't know what exactly is the proper way to adjust the fuel mixture. I heard stuff about like, oh, checking the exhaust gas temp and stuff, but I don't know. What I do is just look for the RPM to kind of reach the highest. Now first you got to get your RPM stable, but once you do, then kind of tweak it until the RPM kind of hits a maximum. And I figure, well, you know, that means the proper mixture, right? You're producing the most power, so you're getting the most RPM. At least that's my theory. Yeah, I see our fuel burn's going down. We're at 12.9. And once we get to cruise, probably get our RPMs to somewhere around 24 or 2500. Somewhere in there. We'll probably be burning about 10 gallons an hour, which should greatly extend our range. We were not going to get that range we needed at 2,500 feet. Alright, let's go back outside. Oof. Yeah, it's crappy weather. Very cloudy. Erie International. I think that was, yeah, that was, I think where I was going to make the, I want to say it might have been where I was going to make the first touch and go. Let's bring up our EFD and check our map. Yeah, that's where it was. So we're approaching that now. We're just going to fly over it. Make our way to KDKK, which is Chautauqua. Which, you know, I could, in theory, land there and grab some gas. But I feel like I just want to make it to Niagara Falls. And I want to risk it. I want to see if we can manage fuel well enough to make it there. Crap, we're already at 30%. And you can see that there's definitely a wind. Look at how our plane is pointed for the line that we're trying to take. Let's go back inside. So yeah, when you look at that, so I get the mouse here, when you look at this, you can see we're pointed this way, but we're going that way. And you can see our vector here showing we're going the right direction. Even though we're facing completely the wrong way. We're almost at our destination altitude. There we go, 10,000 feet. So leveling out. And you notice our speed picking up. Since our speed is picking up, we're actually able to face more towards the direction we're traveling while keeping our velocity vector in the right direction. The outside air temperature is currently minus 14 degrees C, so it's pretty cold out there. Picking up speed. Let's see, what do we have over here? Our ground speed's 130 knots, so that's good. 20 minutes till we're at Chautauqua Airport. Oh, that's actually going... It's dropping down a little quicker because we're picking up speed. Okay, so you see now our RPM's at 2600. Now I'm going to adjust the mixture to try to max this out. Okay, too far. I think 2640, yeah, right there. So it's probably the ideal mixture. And then I'm going to bring our throttle back to get about 2500 RPM. Because this is a pretty good spot to be. It's kind of like the max you should be at, really, if you're going to do long term, about 2500. And you can see our fuel flow is down to 9.3. So definitely going to use a lot less and gives us a much better chance of making it. I'm going to tweak that because you see as we're losing some speed, our propeller RPM is dropping. So I'm going to bump the throttle just a little. Again, just targeting about 2500. And now we're at 9.8. And so this should keep our airspeed right around 100 knots, with our true airspeed being 114. And again, with our tailwind, that wind we got going, we're doing about 130 knots ground speed. Let's head back outside. Since we're just cruising, I'm gonna pop out of VR and we'll just use the camera controls. Cloudy. So one thing I wish they had in here was if I could take the live weather and like just copy it to the custom weather so that it's exactly like this, and then I could just tweak it. I haven't seen a way to do that. If I uncheck this, it's going to go to whatever last preset I had. So I really would love it if they could like try to copy the real world weather settings, because what I would do is, I kind of want to keep the weather the way it is, but just reduce the clouds so we can get a little more visibility. But what can you do? Let's just enjoy the view. So it's interesting that when I'm in VR, that zoom does not work. Instead, the mouse wheel, instead of zooming, it like does this tilt up, tilt down. Erie County. Well, maybe not. Yeah, not a lot we can do here. Let's open the map. Wait, what? Oh, well, crap. Just realized that my favorite bottle shop is permanently closed now. So that sucks. Alright, let's go back inside and take a look. What we got? So we're 2,500 RPM. And what's our flow rate? 9.8, so about 10 gallons per hour. Got 14.8 gallons remaining. I hope we're gonna have enough. 10 minutes next. I think we'll be okay. But yeah.
Cleveland Center, JetBlue 130 tree, flight level 340.
Interesting.
JetBlue
It's not recentering my view like it's supposed
Cleveland
to.
Center, radar contact continue.
Oh well, there we go.
Cleveland Center, Eva Tree 2 is passing flight level 370, descending flight level 350.
Eva Tree 2, Cleveland Center, radar contact continue.
Ooh, look, I'm breaking the clouds.
652.
You can see something down there. Camp Vernon.
Team present altitude, Delta 2652.
Alright, let's see. Trying to figure out my plan. I think I'd like to descend before I get to here, so maybe once I get to Chautauqua Airport, I'll start a descent so that by the time I get to Honolulu, I'll roughly be at the proper altitude. Let's see what we estimate that is. About 3 times that. Okay. This is not quite 3, maybe 2.5 times this. I'm just trying to estimate if I want to get down to, say, 2,500 feet, 2,000 feet, I guess, by the time I reach UK-NIX. I'll take the time that my ETA, or ETE, whatever, from there to there. Add 30%, 40%, as that be the total time, and then take the 8,000 feet I want to drop, divide it by that time, so I'll know what kind of vertical speed to set it to, feet per minute to descend, just to reach there in the time that I frame that I want. There's nothing to see up here. Let up that AFB. Okay. I'd say the distance we have from here to Chautauqua is about the same from UK-NIX to Honolulu. I guess I should say Honolulu to UK-NIX. So, we head inside and check what our ETE is. About 5 minutes. Don't know why it's not recentering view. No clue that button was working earlier, but now it doesn't. Strange. How are we doing on fuel burn? Yep, still 9.8. So we've used about half our fuel. Hopefully we're at least halfway. Probably not. 24% fuel. We're starting to get in the danger zone. Let's see, if we go look at our dash here. We have good ground speed, 132 knots. That's not bad. Tweak how much is left? Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's probably right. In fact, we could check our electronic flight deck. Yeah, 8 and 8. So it says we have 16 gallons left. 16 gallons. What does this thing say? 13 and a half. Oh! We might have more than we think we have. Well, that's good, because we're going to need the backup. So, how are we looking? It's still 14 degrees out. Five miles to Chautauqua.
Eva Tree 2, contact Cleveland Center on 124.325. Good day.
Going 124.325. Eva Tree 2.
What do we got over here? Group. Oh, that must be when you're used for multiplayer or something. Intercom, I don't even know why they have that there. Unless they're planning in this game at some point to add it where somebody can play as co-pilot in their instance. Unless that's already in, I just don't know it, but I don't think it is. But that would be really cool if you could do that. Let's go back to outside. Yeah, we're over half our flight. Definitely over half our flight. And we've used about half of our fuel. 12.8 gallons used, 13 gallons remaining. But we're over half our flight, and we have a descent where we'll use a lot less fuel during the descent stage. Okay, we're at our destination. So it's saying about 12, 13 minutes to the next waypoint. So 13, about 33, and about 4 minutes, so about 17 minutes. If I wanted to drop 8,000 feet in 17 minutes. Let's see, 8,000 divided by 17, about 470 feet per minute. Okay. And I'd probably end up going a little faster once we start descending, so let's go and stare at our autopilot screen. And let's set our target altitude to 2,000 feet.
Climb and maintain flight level tree 50.
That's a little too low. 2,000 feet. And vertical speed, we're going to vertical
Climb
speed
and
mode.
maintain flight level tree 50,
And
Delta
minus
228.
500 feet per minute. Now you notice our speed's going up. So we can save a lot of fuel now by... See, the RPMs are going up because our speed's going up. So we'll pull back the throttle a little. Again, just maintain about 2,500. Now we're at 8.7 gallons per hour. And you know, at 500 feet per minute, it's not a gigantic fuel savings, but it's fuel savings. So we'll take it.
Cleveland Center, JetBlue 177, flight level tree 40.
JetBlue 177, Cleveland Center, radar contact continue.
These clouds seem pretty high. Hopefully it doesn't take long to get below them. Sorry, I'm just snapping the view. Try to see if it'll reset the view, since my reset view button just decided to stop working. Still some bugs in this game. Oop, I see some ground. Hey, maybe it's not as shitty over here. I'm thinking it probably is. Oop. Alright. Time to do something you're not allowed to do in real life. I'm gonna go grab a brewski. what is sounding good? Oop, I think the mailman's dropping something off. Of course, incorrect mixture. This is reducing altitude.
WestJet 2757 contact Cleveland Center on 125.2. Good day.
WestJet 2757.
Back at it. Let's do a tropical fresh. The shoots. I'm gonna have to watch that in VR. If I turn VR on, I'm gonna need to put this somewhere else. Well, that's good. Still running along the lake shore. And fuel mixture probably needs richened again. Again, I'm just watching the RPM more than anything. Hey, this weather doesn't look too terrible over here. And I'm going to back off the throttle just a little. Yeah, I see our fuel flow is going back up because we have to richen as we go to lower altitudes. Oop, wrong way. Getting about 2,500 roughly. So yeah, we're at 11 gallons per hour. So I hope we can finish this flight in less than an hour. Of course, that's going to go up even higher once we start cruising down there. waypoint. Looks like we reached the next waypoint. I did not know there was a bunch of windmills on the eastern end of Lake Erie. Guess I know now. Richening it slightly because we're going down. See the RPM's going back up as I richen it. Now let's go check our fuel flow. Yeah, 11.4, so we're getting lower on gas. We're using it quicker. I have a feeling this is going to be kind of close. Yeah, you see I'm getting the low fuel warning. Oh! And what do we have here? Buffalo, New York. The city that gets pounded with snow every friggin' year. Because they get that lake effect. Wind goes from west to east, picks up all the moisture from the lake, and just dumps snow on this city. Look at those buildings down there. So those look like various kind of factories. But then that... Is that factory or is that... Yeah, that's factory. Okay. Yep. This whole area. Cleveland, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, you name it. It's all the Rust Belt. Used to be big into steel making. Now, not so much. So there's a lot of old industrial buildings from back in the day when that was still a thing. Not to say that it isn't a thing. It's just not as big of a thing anymore. I think we are going to cut our RPMs back to 2400 so that we can take our fuel flow down. Again, we're not in a rush to get there. Just need to make sure we have enough fuel. I see 10 gallons per hour right now. About 10 and a half. Ooh, that was a gust of wind. Okay, at 2370, 10 gallons an hour. So in theory, got an hour of flight time left on this tank. Oh, and you can see that there is a wind sliding us sideways really bad. Waypoint shows going right for the river there. In fact, actually, let's go back to the outside view. Up the EFB. Oh yeah, we're gonna make it no problem. What do we have left here? 10 gallons of fuel. We're good. We might switch off the autopilot soon and start doing manual control here. Let's see. Vibration in the engine. Yeah, it's bringing the RPMs back up. Too far. Alright, that's about where we want it. Yeah, weather sucks over here. Okay, so we are 10 nautical miles from our destination airport, so plenty of fuel to get there. But we're not going straight there. We need to go see the falls first. Because after all, what's a trip to Niagara without a trip to Niagara Falls? Am I right? 10 gallons per hour. Man, it's minus 11 C. Gosh, outside temp is a minus 11 C even at this lower altitude. So this is just cold. Ground speed 83 knots. And our airspeed is 99. Okay, so we are clearly heading into the wind. A little, to a good extent. Oh, in fact, actually, they're supposed to be... Oh yes, here we go. Yes, we have a 24 knot headwind coming in from our left. So, as you can see here, so the wind is coming in from 280, so it's what, about here, from the west. Falls are right over here. So yeah, you're headed towards them right now. And yeah, this RPM's getting a little low. I like to run at least. Kind of don't really like going less than 2300 RPM. 2300 RPM, you still have solid power. Alright, let's pop into VR. Yep. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, cool. Nice. Right. All right. Whoa. Okay. So we need to recenter our view. So this is off for sure. All right. That looks good. Let's turn off autopilot and start flying this manually. Alright. We're gonna follow the river right over to Niagara Falls. Cool. And we might need to richen a little. Well, we're probably actually pretty good. Yeah, richen just a hint. He should try it with VR. Ooh, look at the side slip. Wow. Maybe, I don't know if you guys can notice it, but I'm looking at the shoreline there and I'm noticing as the plane is just sliding to the right. Oh, that's hilarious. Great Wolf Lodge managed to give Microsoft enough money to be pointed out in this game. So these are pretty shitty conditions to be visiting Niagara Falls in, I will tell you that. Ooh, man, yeah, that wind. I think we got some gusts going too. Minus 8 degrees C outside. Yeah, it's cold and shitty. Minus 8, what is that? Is that below 20? What's our RPMs? 2300, good, solid. Yeah.
Fucking mashed potato lid on.
It was on.
I'm asking you to fucking put it on.
Oh,
Hey!
I got it. I didn't know what you meant.
Let's go, fuck faces. Now. Yeah, because I'm sitting there trying to put that fucking lid on over and over and over. Irritating. Come on, Clarence, get out here.
Oh, there's that tower on the Canadian side of the falls. Let's go to outside view. Ooh, there it is. I gotta be careful if I bank too hard with the wind from the side. Just doesn't seem like a good idea. Oh, well, they modeled the Ferris wheel and stuff over here. And the Rainbow Bridge. How's our airspeed? Here, watch it. Oh boy, oh boy. Whoa. Whoa, whoa.
Why would that fucking lid go on? It makes me really mad.
I can tell.
What's so irritating? I cannot get it on, so you're gonna have to put it on. Come on, you guys. I thought you were almost done.
I am.
Well, this lid needs to put on.
Alright. Well, I'm going to have some of the mashed potatoes, so don't worry about it. Alright. Let's get our asses to the airport. We need to land. Eight gallons remaining. Yeah, we're good. Wow. I mean, the way the plane is just sliding sideways. very disconcerting. You know what? I think it has to be done. I think we have to fly under the Rainbow Bridge. I don't think there's a choice. Doing it in these horrible conditions, too. Oh my god. This is probably a really bad choice. It's the Great Wolf Lot. Jesus, they even modeled it. They even modeled it. Yeah, seriously, they paid Microsoft some money. Look, there's the water slides and everything. Alright. Oh, man. Ooh, boy. This is sketchy AF. I am increasing throttle. We're not going to screw around with this. I say as I'm about to try to go under the Rainbow Bridge. Oh my god. Alright, you know, I'm going to get down low. See if the wind changes in this canyon. Oh, this is a horrible, horrible idea. Oh man, and our airspeed's getting too high. What is going on? God, what a bad idea. Oh, what a bad idea. What a bad idea. Until you do it. Yes. Okay. Enough screwing around. Let's get to the airport. Whew. Alright, I'm almost done. Okay. Why does it have that as my approach? Is that a good approach? No, that's a tailwind. That's a terrible approach. I don't know. Alright. So airport. Running the downwind leg. I don't know why our nav has our approach as coming straight in from that direction, but I'm not going to worry about it. Because I can see that's a 22 knot tailwind. I am not landing with a 22 knot tailwind. runway do you say we're going on? That short one. Alright, that works. Yeah, that works better. A lot less taxiing anyway. Need to lose some speed. Okay, now I can flap it.
Stall.
Another notch of flaps. Wow, look at the sideways drift. Drifting a friggin' airplane. Power, and I'm going to keep that
Stall.
60 to 70.
500.
Oh, we're not going for that short one. Okay. Alright, full flaps.
Stall. Stall. Stall.
Oh my god.
Stall.
Jeez. That headwind.
Stall.
I'm like full power. I'm not even gaining speed. Okay. Alright. Alright. Flare.
Stall. 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 Stall.
Ooh. That was rough. That was rough. Alright. ATC. Taxi to parking.
Ground.
I think it's this way.
C.G.B.Spender Foxtrot Sierra 2024. Taxi to parking.
C.G.B.Spender
Maybe not.
Foxtrot Sierra
That doesn't look like I'm supposed to go that way.
2024. Taxi to general aviation parking.
Something gonna tell me where I need to go?
C.G.B.Spender Foxtrot Sierra 2024. Did you hear my last transmission?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Taxiing to general aviation parking. C.G.B.Spender Foxtrot Sierra 2024.
Where though? Before I end up taking off again. There's those blue assistant lines. I really need to learn the proper procedures, so I don't need those. But it's a game. Alright, I'm gonna slow it way down before this turn because with that wind. Oh, I bet you they had me taxi down here to avoid crossing that other runway. Unless that other runway is about to be right here. Jeez. It's a little unlevel. Oh yeah, I bet the runway was right there. Just park over here. Why are you guys making me go all the way down here? It seems like tax across the runway there, but you know what? Nobody's using that runway right now. Not with this wind. Did he just taxi me to a gate? Taxi me to a gate. What the hell? Did I somehow select gate? I'm pretty sure I selected parking.
Ground, C.G.B.Spender Foxtrot Sierra 2024. Request taxi to parking.
C.G.B.Spender Foxtrot Sierra 2024. Taxi to general aviation parking using taxiway Delta Charlie Cross Runway 6 Charlie Kilo.
Taxiing to general aviation parking via taxiway Delta Charlie Cross Runway 6 Charlie Kilo. C.G.B.Spender Foxtrot Sierra 2024.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not where I'm parking. This is a fucking gate. Let me see, now the center button works. Cirrus Vision Jet. One of those would be so badass to have. That seems like a dangerous job. You know, with pilots like me around. Alright, parking brake on. Alright, back inside. Let's properly shut down this thing. So I can turn this stuff off. Oop, that's right, I got that one on a switch. Oh, I didn't even mess with the lights at all. Should have. Cut the engine. Set that to that. Fuel valve closed. Close those. Avionics off. Set that to off. And standby off. We are cold. Okay. So now we need to see, because that was a terrible landing, how are our struts? Yeah, they're good. But look at that. That was a rough landing. Nose strut's good. How about nose gear? Yeah, it's good. We just landed pretty hard on these guys. Ooh. Yeah, apparently really hard on that guy. Ooh. Well, we're alive. We made it. All right. With that, it's time to sign off. Let's see. What parking spot did we end up in? Where are we? Somewhere roughly around... Yeah, GA small. I think we were in here. We'll say we're in parking 154. All right. Take care.